Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Boredom Sated. I'm Michael,
I'm Boris.
and today we are discussing a legendary creature that has plagued, well, according to mythology, plagued mankind for centuries. The Nordic, originally a Nordic folk tale for sailors. We're talking about the Kraken. Now,
Can we release it?
yeah, yes, we shall let it loose. Now, as usual with these videos, we're going to do a comparison between the fifth edition version and the Pathfinder second edition version. Now,
Yes.
uh, if we go by the movies, just briefly, neither of the movies, the Clash of the Titans from 1981 and the remake in 2010, neither of them actually uh, portray the Kraken in the traditional view, which is just a giant squid. Both of them
Yeah.
are of these movies portrayed it in a more monstrous, almost like a kaiju version. Multiple arms, very reptilian. But the classic version of the Kraken is basically a gigantic squid that used to attack ships, not just small ships, big ships, everything. So for the fifth edition version, the Kraken is a CR-23. It's a legendary creature. It has legendary actions, and it is a brute in terms of what it can do. And also, it's incredibly intelligent. Its stat line has like dexterity, obviously, would be its lowest statistic, but it is strong as heck. There's a 30 strength. It has a 25 con, so it's got a lot of hit points. The hit points come up to about 472, which is a lot. Its armor class is 18, so it's pretty reasonable for its size. But here's where this surprised me when I saw it. Its charisma is 20, so it's a charming MFR. it's really it's a very wonderful personality for someone who's just under the water all the time. Its wisdom is 18. Okay, it's perceptive. It's got big eyes. But here's another thing that surprised me. Its intelligence is 22. It's a bloody super genius. That scares me because if I was a dungeon master, I'm like, wait a minute. I have an evil genius as an octopus. What do I do? He'd come with
Right.
rocks and throw it at you first or something. He'd have his own net. Ha ha, how do you like it?
R-
Something like that.
Yes. Well, in the Pathfinder 2E version, he's an 18, which is significantly lower than the 23 he is in the fifth edition. But he's exactly the same way. They even call him a cruel intelligence leviathan type creature.
Yeah.
So and he's what really surprised me is that this is a squid. This is an animal that you would think would be neutral or some sort of neutral type, but he's actually neutral evil. So this
Yeah.
is an intelligent creature that
He's an
wants
evil
to mess
genius.
you up.
Yeah,
Yes.
in the fifth edition, he's a chaotic evil. This is like, wait a minute, this guy's a super genius.
Yeah.
I had to
Yep.
think of like, usually you'd think, all right, it's easy to utilize. All right, it just attacks the ship, blah blah blah. Wants to eat people it can grab. But this thing is actually cunning as hell. This is like,
Yep.
wow, this is. I gotta think really how to use this first.
Right.
But going on with
And the
the Kraken, yes,
yeah, I was going to say the interesting thing is that uh, in the Pathfinder 2 version, because they do add a lot of role playing aspects to it,
hmm
because it's a super genius. It actually is very its treasure. They discuss what a treasure is very in high demand for what most characters would be looking there. There's a very good, significant reason to try and slay this thing because it prefers scrolls, books, and tomes of ancient lore and magical capabilities, as well as gems and rarefied raw materials. So
hmm
you're looking at something that enjoys having books that increases your stats, spell books, uh, all the ancient tomes, rare materials, adamantium, star materials that you could use and is in high demand at this, level.
yeah,
So it's just should be like, a desire to try and figure out how to slay this thing.
yeah. Designed to go out in the middle of into its domain, basically its home ground where it has all the advantages, uh, and try and battle a giant kaiju level squid. That's a brilliant idea.
No, no,
Exactly.
no. I totally get it. I mean, under normal circumstances, but
Yeah.
they entice you. They really put the
Oh yeah, yeah.
treasures to the
They
high level.
they stick a don't they? They don't stick a bunch of carrots. They stick those atomic sized nuclear carrots in front of you for this one. Yes, I
Yeah,
understand definitely.
yeah,
But
yes.
here's what makes this particular creature in both systems pretty damn deadly. It has a they give it a in the fifth edition they give it a land speed, excuse me, of 20 feet, which whatever. But its swim speed is 60, so it's pretty much faster than anything you probably can utilize against it. But in the fifth edition one, under its regular abilities, um, its traits, it has something called freedom of movement. Basically, this means it ignores difficult terrain. I assume in the seas that would mean like seaweed or something. I don't know. Um, and magical effects can't reduce its speed or cause it to be restrained. So you can't stop it from moving anywhere it wants to. And it spends 5 feet of movement to escape from any non-magical restraint or being grappled. Because I guess it's slippery and because it has no bones. Well, not many bones, though. Yeah.
Right.
This
Um,
simply means that, okay, you can't stop this thing from going wherever it wants to go in the battlefield. Okay.
right.
And it also has that siege monster
Uh,
that does double damage to objects and structures, but that's, yeah.
right. It has something similar. It is not total. It can be restrained by magical items, but it has this jet movement, which allows it to move in a straight line for 280 feet, and it does not trigger any types of reaction if
So
it
it
does
has,
this type of movement.
basically, it has supreme mobility. Like the
Yes.
mobility feet times like a million. Because the
Yes.
mobility feet, you only can move like half your movement, rounded down, without triggering. Yeah.
Right.
All right, so let's go to its attack abilities. Okay, for fifth edition, it has the standard 3 attacks at this level. It's 23. It's I guess you could consider it an epic level creature. It has a standard bite as well. The reach of this bite, however, is kind of lackluster. It's pretty much a close quarter thing. It's not something it's going to use initially because it's only 5 feet. Now this thing is gargantuan, so I assume it's in Pathfinder it's the same size, about gargantuan size. So the thing about the swallow bite is it has a swallow whole feature, so it can swallow you whole and then start doing acid damage to you, which in this case is 42 acid damage at the start of every turn. And then you have to try and do the normal trying to escape while you're restrained and blinded. So it's like, oh,
Right.
great. Its tentacle attacks, however, are really nice. It has a range of 30 feet, so that's a good distance. And of course, they can start out free grapple. Here's the good thing about this: it can restrain. It has 10 tentacles. This version, so that means it can restrain up to 10 foes at once if it wants to. So it's nice. And then the final thing it has, well, there's 2 more things. The the melee thing it can do is fling. Actually, that counts as a throw. Actually, it can grab somebody and it throws it up to 60 feet. And then there's damage um, versions for if it throws it and it just throws it into the ground or the air or into other people and they end up prone. Now
Right.
here's something that people would do. Like for instance, if something's like a massive melee monster, then its obvious weakness would be ranged. Not so with the Kraken. Kraken can cast a lightning storm every single round. It can fire 3 bolts every single round, up to 120 feet. You either make a DC 23 reflex save or take 4d10, average 22 points of lightning damage on a fail save. So what
Right.
can the Pathfinder one do?
So the Pathfinder seems like they went way overboard compared to the fifth edition. It has arms and tentacles
Mm.
attack as well as a beak. So the arms they're all at the same to hit, and it's appropriate for this level of creature with its strength modifier.
Mm.
But its arm reach is 40.
Yeah.
Its tentacle reaches 60, and its
That's the
beak
entire
range.
battlefield. That's the entire
Yes,
battlefield. Ooh.
and its beak range is 20. So it's if you're going for range, it's going to be difficult to be at range with it.
You sure this thing's gargantuan? Range 60? I've never seen it reach 60. That's like colossal
It
plus.
is. It's
It doesn't
gargantuan.
exist anymore, but still.
Yeah, it's gargantuan.
That's literally the entire battlefield.
Yeah, there's no going into real range with it because of its movement and its reach.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't have that magical effect of lightning storm, but what it does have is double attack. So for one action, it can attack 2 foes, and that attack does not count to its multi-attack penalty until after it does the attack. So technically, it can have it can get 6 attacks in 1 round on different creatures.
It counts as the 2 attacks. Double attack counts as 2 attacks toward the first shot. So yeah, but after the second one, it doesn't make a difference. So the first one I think is -5, but then next one's -10, then third one -10.
No, -10, -10, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So, but it's those 2 attacks each only costed 1 action. So technically, it gets 6 attacks.
Yeah, which is just annoying. Oh, does it have any spells or any magical abilities?
It does. Yes, it has dominate, but only animals at level 10.
Okay.
Punishing winds at level 8, and resist energy at level 7. Now, also, it's under the effect of a continuous control weather ritual. So within a 2-mile radius, it can have any type of weather it wants based upon its mood, emotional state. And the weather returns to normal upon its death.
Okay. That's a atmospheric. But
yes.
All right.
Light thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening.
Yeah. Mamma mia. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's
it also has, like, whereas yours has poison, the Kraken has ink, which is its poison. I mean, you have acid. The Kraken and the
that's what Swallow Hole, yeah.
Pathfinder 2E, right, has ink attacks that only works in water. Okay. So it can either do an ink attack to block vision within an 80-foot around it for 2d6, and it can't use it for 2d6 rounds. Or, but if you're within its ink, it's poisonous. A DC 39 Fortitude, which is appropriate for this level. It's not like very outrageous, but the duration is 10 rounds. Stage 1 is 3d6 poison damage, which is in line, and sicken 1, and stage 2 is 4d6, which is also in line. But now you become sicken 2. So.
The ink. One second. The ink cloud has a 80-foot emanation. That means from 80 foot from his perspective, 80 foot hits.
Yes.
Good luck. That's the entire battlefield again.
Yeah.
That's like the second battlefield as well. What the hell? 80 foot.
No, I mean it's
80-foot radius. So that's 100. That's literally the whole battlefield and then some. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's
impressive.
It's a very difficult monster to kill.
That's the
interesting thing is for this level, it has the appropriate 2 hits, an appropriate number of hit points, an appropriate AC. I mean, a decked out fighter with a +3 weapon would only need a 7 to hit it, which isn't that bad.
Here's the thing about the decked out fighter would be in metal armor. As soon as he has to, I mean, let's assume he has some sort of water breathing, whatever it is. He's still got weight, and if he's not able to, let me grapple this thing. Wait,
I'm saying 2 hits. I'm not saying armor. I'm saying 2 hits. Armor is totally different kind.
I know, but it's you better stay on the ship. All I'm saying, better stay on the ship.
Well. I wouldn't want to be on a ship because it can crush a ship very quickly because it does significant amount of damage and based on punishing winds and the weather, your ship is sunk within 2-3 rounds, probably.
Yeah. So let me get to the Kraken's legendary abilities. This up a little bit gives it a little bit of an edge in terms of combat and unpredictability at this level. So it has 3 legendary actions a turn, and the first one is just an additional tentacle attack or fling. The next one that costs 2 actions is lightning storm, so it can shoot another 3 lightning bolts. And the third one is the ink cloud. Now this one is not as big as yours. It's yours is 80-foot emanation. This one's 60-foot radius, and can also has the same restriction. Can only be used underwater. It spreads around corners, heavily obscures creatures other than the Kraken. So he can see, you can't. Great. Let's see. It's a DC 23 con save. It takes 3d10 poison damage on a fail save, half as much. And that's it. So it's not as powerful a poison in terms of it. It's a different type of poison effect. But yeah, that costs 3 actions. That's usually there to.
What is your resistance or immunities? For the Pathfinder 2 version, it's just controlled and emotion immunity, which isn't that bad. Okay. And resistance is cold 10 and poison 20, which isn't that bad. I mean, it can cast that 7th level resist energy to protect it from fire and lightning, but it's the resistance overall are not that bad.
Okay. Condition immunity for the Kraken is frightened and paralyzed. Damage immunity is lightning, bludgeon, piercing, slashing from non-magical attacks. Oh, it also has true sight, 120 feet. That's probably why it can see through the ink.
Yep. Okay. So
let's see. Yeah, that's about it.
So definitely in both. Yeah, definitely in both cases, it's the melee type of combat is in line for a creature, but because it gets all these extra abilities and extra attacks, it is a devastating creature. But like you said,
that's the thing. You have to role play. You have to role play that intellect. It's like it's easier to. I have to say this, Dungeon Master, and you as well. It's easier to role play an animal or a beast. Something simple like it's gonna just attack when it's on low intelligence. Well, that's easy. It just attacks. But when the thing has a lot of intelligence, you're like, okay, I gotta think of something special here. It has to think in its bag of tricks. It probably also is one of those things where how many hit points does this thing take before it says, okay, this is too much, I'm gonna run away, and maybe heal up and attack again or something like that. You have to add additional tactics to intelligent creatures, otherwise you're not really playing them properly, and which also makes them more deadly. That's why I was like, this thing's a super genius. Damn it.
No, I totally agree. You it cannot just be a straight out fight. It's going to use everything to its advantage. It's going to be very difficult to even try to trick it into a situation where you have an advantage because of that intelligence. But they throw such huge carrots of reward if you slay it.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, there's also a thing about even if you're able to kill it on the surface or whatever, just under the water, you still have to find its lair, and that could take a while. Actually, that might be actually part of an adventure where it's like, all right, we're gonna beat this thing, and then let it escape so we can chase it down somehow. We'll throw a spear and then track the spear or something. That type of usually like a homing device. So otherwise, we can't. Its lair could be literally hundreds of miles away. You don't know. This thing's fast as heck underwater. It can just it goes. It can be very far from its lair when it attacks you. You don't know how. For something that large, its hunting range could literally be hundreds of miles for
Right.
If it goes out, eat something.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It controls weather for 2 miles. It controls weather for a 2-mile radius.
Yeah, I know, right? Or worse, it's really, really deep. In which case, you're like, oh crap, we're gonna have to take a submarine down there.
Right.
So that is. Oh, you want to say anything else about the Kraken?
Yeah, I was going to say that's the Kraken. It's definitely a devastating creature for the level it is and the CR it is in both And I think it's definitely because of its intelligence and its capability can really be the long-term boss. It can be the evil genius controlling the seas, and you can have this whole campaign
Yeah,
based upon that. At the
yeah.
end, you try to slay it.
You you can give it an island layer somewhere that would be its more even though it's a little almost cliche to give it an island layer, but that's something that the players can head towards. Of course, you can fill it with all sorts of monsters and traps and whatever else
Right.
appropriately. But that would be its like layer that they can actually reach. If you really want to make it difficult, forget about the layer, and he's put it in the Marianas freaking Trench. he doesn't. The
He
Kraken
doesn't
doesn't have
care.
yeah, he doesn't have any
Yeah.
bones, so he's not going to get
Yeah.
crushed by the immense pressure, and then that's
Right.
another obstacle, the environment itself that the players have to contend with. So
Right.
it's not about
So
water breathing; it's about the pressure. They'll crush you.
right. Yeah. So definitely a devastating creature. Definitely at least in Pathfinder 2e, they really entice you to try and kill it.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually haven't, other than dragons, I don't think I've read any other significant treasure listing like for the Kraken.
No, it's whatever you want. It's really whatever you want to put there. Um,
Right.
if you've as a historical side note, you look at some of the treasure recovered from some of the Spanish treasure fleets that used
Yep.
to go down the Mediterranean. Sorry, the Caribbean. Let's see, the
Right.
Etosha from in off the coast of Florida, and the massive amount of stuff, the bars, the jewelry, everything like that, and the gems that were taken from the New World heading towards Spain. And you're like, that's like a dragon horde right there. It's the dragon horde of the sea.
Right.
It's a kraken instead of the dragon.
Right.
And like, okay, that's a great. It might not actually be the kraken might have taken cherry picked what it wants, but left the heavier stuff. I mean, it could be right there. Like, hey, it's like maybe I don't
Right.
know, a quarter mile underneath the surface, which is
Yep.
still in medieval times completely out of reach of everybody else. And so you have all the physical treasure, like the bars or gold or whatever else there, and maybe the armor, but the scrolls, the possible magic items that caught its eye or whatever else, it took those away. So you can like, oh hey, we got tons of gold, but wait, where's the staff of
Yes.
whatever, the sword and the scrolls, and oh no, crap, and the grimoire of
Yeah.
evil doings. Oh wait, we need to find that. And then
Right.
just to be a bigger D, let the Kraken is so intelligent, make the Kraken a wizard. And Kraken, this is what
And use it can use those
it
tomes. You
uses
know, all of a sudden it has enhanced stats because it read the books and exercised.
you see this is remember in Lord of the Rings how the One Ring actually resized itself. It used to be
Yeah.
bigger, and then when in the first movie it got smaller so that it could fit on the human's hands. Imagine
Right.
the opposite, where it's like, I'm going to take this ring of fire. And you see the Kraken. Wait, the Kraken actually has several rings on its tentacles. What? It's got rings of
Exactly.
fire resistance on its arm. Other things. It's got a ring of wizardry. What? That would be
Yep.
fun
No,
and
exactly.
hilariously bad.
Yep. So,
Uh,
so
so that
that's
is
the
it from
Kraken.
us, I believe.
Yeah.
That is the Kraken.
Yeah, that's the. So please subscribe. Please comment. Have you fought a Kraken? What do you think if you have? You know, tell us of how many times while fighting the Kraken, people were screaming, "Release the Kraken!"
And we'll see you next time on Boredom
Yes.
Saves. I'm Michael.
Bye. I'm Boris. Have a
Bye
good
bye.
evening.